समस्त तीर्थयात्रियों का मेला प्रशासन हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन करता है।
Millions come to Kumbh to take a holy dip at the sacred confluence of 3 rivers, including women. These women pilgrims are vulnerable to unwanted lurkers taking inappropriate pictures of them while they take their holy dip in open water. Though the government has banned filming and photography, it's impossible to implement this rule among 40 million people. Hamam, a soap that champions the cause of keeping women safe outside, decided to step in. Women receive unwelcome attention because their saris get wet and stick to their bodies. What if their saris did not get wet? Hamam presents the world's first waterproof saree. Coated with a water-repellent agent, these saris were mass-produced and distributed to women going for their holy dip. We also built changing rooms exclusively for them.
कपड़े गीले हो जाते हैं तो चिपक जाते हैं तो खराब लगता है देखने में।
इसको पहनने के बाद में हमें कंफर्टेबल फील हुआ है और ये बॉडी से हमारी चिपक भी नहीं रही है।
गीली नहीं होगी तो बॉडी में चिपकेगी नहीं, तो हम लोग को नहाने में भी आराम से आके हम लोग नहा सकते हैं।
ये सारी नहीं चिपकती, पानी ढरक जाते हैं।
Women of every age and from every corner of the country embrace the waterproof saree. And so did the media. From the world's largest confluence of humanity to every town and village in India, Hamam vows to ensure every woman goes safe outside.
We believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe.
blind, and I use cameras and optical devices to see.
It's amazing how much you can build from a Mac.
Anyone can do this.
You have the tools.
Everyone has the tools to do it.
We've always believed deeply in the power of creativity to change things, to push the human race forward.
Daddy's doing all right?
Why hasn't the Canadian parental leave system been used by fathers?
There's a fear that it might impact their career. Well, there's a stigma around it.
You're a wuss. You're not wearing the pants in the family. How dare you take this precious time away from the mother?
The new paternity benefits allow fathers, same-sex couples, and adoptive parents to take 5 additional weeks.
So it's either a use it or lose it.
I see it once in a lifetime opportunity. 1, 2, 3.
saw her smile, my heart, it's like just goes bigger and bigger.
The kids will wake up, it's chaos. It can get out of hand pretty quick.
Couple weeks I just had, I'm never going to get that back again, and I wouldn't trade it up for any money in the world. You have to take the time.
From the same producers that push the limits of reality TV comes a new show that will take your breath away. Space Kid, the new reality TV show. A 7-year-old girl inside an isolated capsule in a remote location for 1 whole year of space training. Alone. Using screens as her only window to the rest of the world. The adventure starts now.
Notícias insólitas, reality show à volta de uma criança de 7 anos.
Mas isto ultrapassa todos os limites.
É oficial, está tudo maluco.
Behold, the mightiest assembly ever witnessed. And all here for the same reason.
Fifth annual rally for kids with cancer.
Teeing off in support of SickKids.
So they started Ashley's Angels.
And we're raising money for cancer research for the kids.
The fixies, the straight razors, the chefs, the techies, the fashionistas, the ballers and the ballers, the road runners. The cosplayers, Leafs fans, dog people, artists, derby girls. I call upon every crew. We need you all to join our fight for a new SickKids, and we need you now. I salute you all. You, the brave souls who answered the call. A new SickKids will rise where you now stand. But it's going to take us all. Who's with us? Who is with us?
This evening, the cast reunited for one final time in Belfast, where much of Game of Thrones was filmed for the UK premiere.
Game of Thrones for me has been my life.
Saying goodbye is not my forte.
Well, this is really exciting today here in Belfast for the launch of our Glass of Thrones campaign.
What other show could inspire and bring 350,000 tourists to Northern Ireland last year?
Because you're a Lannister. The night is dark and full of terror.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win. You die.
Ah, Paris. City of lights. City of love. But mostly, city of shopping. So how do you drive the huge traffic from big Parisian department stores and their millions spent on advertising all year long to your unknown and small store just a few streets away with a very, very limited budget? Well, you look for a simple idea to force them. Le Drugstore Parisien presents The Parisian Rendezvous. When we noticed Parisians' crazy enthusiasm for self-service scooters, we decided to hack this service to create an unstoppable drive to store. So, one night, we borrowed all the scooters of the department store's neighborhood and we parked them in front of Le Drugstore Parisien. So when people searched for scooters, they found our small store. By hijacking these scooters with free GPS trackers, we created what was probably the world's most geolocalized boutique for a few days. Our unique parking lot received a great deal of attention both in real life and on social media, even from the mayor of Paris herself.
Ils ont montré toutes les trottinettes devant un concept store et à chaque fois qu'il y avait quelqu'un qui venait en chercher une et qui faisait le pas de se déplacer, de bien la ramener, ils avaient un petit bon d'achat.
And to ensure there were always scooters in front of the store, we rewarded users who parked theirs here with store discounts. Mission accomplished. Our small store had become almost unavoidable. 850,000 media impressions on the first day, €0 of media investment, 50% more foot traffic in store, and €168.12 in scooter rental fees.
Every sport has that team that never wins. In American football, that team is the Cleveland Browns.
They keep losing. When are they going to win?
In 2017, they didn't win a single game, and 2016 had been pretty brutal too. So as the National Football League's official beer sponsor, we gave the loyal fans something to look forward to. And we did it in the only language we know.
The next story combines two of my favorite things, football and alcohol.
Bud Light placed victory fridges in bars across Cleveland. The way the fridges will work is as soon as the victory is clenched, the chains just fall off the fridges.
Cleveland Browns legends delivered the victory fridges to bars. Filled with special edition Bud Light. Secured with a Wi-Fi controlled lock. Suddenly, the season wasn't about raising a trophy. It was about raising a glass. And for 5 straight weeks, national media attention shifted from the top teams to the very bottom of the standings.
Bold prediction, I think those fridges are getting unlocked in the first month of the season.
Oh, look at that.
Hope and excitement started to return to the disheartened fans. We all know how this story ends.
The Browns are winners tonight!
With a big win, 635 days in the making, and with a click.
The Browns have finally won a game.
And the Bud Light victory fridges were unlocked at long last.
Open up the coolers, free beer for everybody. The city went wild. So-called victory fridges are unlocked.
It's maybe the greatest promotion in the history of promotions.
Finally, people are enjoying what has been long overdue.
Well, now they're empty.
My husband, Avijit Roy, and I were targeted. They actually said he deserved to be killed because he wrote those 2 books.
I saw that the reports that Marie had been killed. I really didn't believe it.
I had no idea the risks journalists take, the risks he was taking to report.
Marie Colvin, Samir Kassir, James Foley, just a few of the many journalists who were silenced through murder. What if their final articles weren't their last, but rather the first part of something bigger? Introducing The Last Column, a memorial initiative honoring those who gave their lives to uncover the truth.
This is a wonderful, wonderful project.
It's called The Last Column.
The Last Column.
The Last Column.
And it looks like this. These are the names of the 1,337 journalists killed in the line of duty since 1992.
This is a project that remembers journalists who died doing their job, not with sadness.
It started with a book, featuring the final articles and photographs of more than 20 murdered journalists, a way to remember and immortalize their stories.
The Last Column is a really important project to remind us there are still many more journalists who are doing this work today, and it is not too late to help protect them.
October 2018. Lebanon has been without a government for over 6 months. Lebanese politicians have failed to form a working government, pushing the country into a dangerous economic crisis.
Lebanon has been without a government for 4 months.
Saad Hariri has been trying to put together a cabinet for 6 months now.
Lebanon is still without a government.
Public anger is growing as economic conditions worsen.
Each week, the same politicians use the press to print their excuses, blame their opponents, and shift the blame away from themselves. An-Nahar, Lebanon's leading newspaper, decided to make a stand. Introducing the blank edition. For the first time, a paper prints a blank edition, entirely free of all content and advertising. Because if the politicians won't work, then why should we? The country followed suit as people copied our stand. Social media channels, website, and outdoors followed. When interest peaked, Editor-in-Chief Naila Twenny held a press conference calling on people to use the blank newspapers to send their message to Lebanese politicians, turning a nation into the world's largest newsroom. Writing headlines politicians could not ignore. As the world took notice, the headlines politicians used to hide behind began to call for accountability. Finally, after 8 months of bickering, politicking and turmoil, the Lebanese people got the government they demanded.
There is a huge sense of relief. Things here had really reached breaking point.
Minutos de torneira pingando, a gente enche uma garrafa de 1,5 litro.
To those who think gender equality only benefits girls, the numbers tell a different story.
S&P Global wanted to use what they're known best for, data and insights, to tell a very different story about gender equality. We enlisted the help of 160 girls to put a face to the numbers, using real data to demonstrate that change pays.
Around the world, gender-diverse companies are 15% likelier to earn more than their competitors.
We debuted our film at the Davos World Economic Forum, but quickly broke through to a wider audience. The campaign continued through dynamic social posts, reframing stereotypes to help open the eyes of our audience. But we weren't done yet. We put women front and center on the currency of the world's largest economies. On International Women's Day, we proudly hung the bills where they couldn't be missed. The World Trade Center Oculus, the commuter hub of New York's finance industry. With 549 female-faced banknotes and 35,000 feet of aircraft cable, we literally shifted people's perspectives on gender equality. With the help of digital kiosks and augmented reality, the installation turned S&P Global's vital statistics into a message that commuters and tourists couldn't help but share.
Yeah, it pays for us to have a bigger piece of the pie.
Tragedy in the Mediterranean.
While the refugee crisis in the Mediterranean continues, its media coverage has decreased heavily, and with it, Sea-Watch's ongoing efforts are falling silent.
If we see ourselves in the refugee experience and try to literally put ourselves on that journey, then it's going to impact us in a completely different way. And that, at its core, is what Lifeboat the Experiment is attempting to do.
Based on first-hand experiences of 5 refugees we've interviewed, we set up a simulation attempting to remodel all conditions of a real escape.
There is absolutely no room.
Hungry, no food.
The boys stuck in making like this.
40 participants represented the German society in age, gender, and profession. This change of perspective created 40 new faces to feel empathy for and to identify with. For everybody watching the documented simulation, for 5 hours, they experienced only a fragment of what it takes to cross the Mediterranean, to be then confronted with the actual dimension of the crisis.
Although we all knew it was absolutely safe, some of us began to cry and even panic.
An integrated campaign as well as selected influencers drove traffic to the film and its website. Here, the experiment and all involved characters renewed the public debate.
If we are able to change even one person's perception of the refugee crisis through this experiment, then for me it will be a complete and absolute success.
Lifeboat, the Experiment, a game changer for an NGO to regain media coverage, sparking a mind shift in society.
This is Nike. As you can see, this is the craziest thing I've ever received in my life. Are you ready? Look at this. Bam!
To launch a retro-inspired Nike Air Max collection, global retailer Foot Locker identified the one thing people could agree on. The 90s are back. So why stop at shoes? We created the Discover Your Air network and relaunched the entire decade with a cable TV experience built for the internet. We took the shows millennials loved in the 90s and remade them with the influencers Gen Z cares about today. Sitcoms, cartoons, fitness programming, and news.
Well, this is the new Nike Air Max Dia.
Did you just change pants?
Today, we're gonna get you in shape for Air Max Day.
Even a live home shopping experience on Twitch, where fans called a real 1-800 number to purchase exclusive Air Max product.
We're going to jump to our next caller.
What's a cable TV network without ads?
We're going to take a short commercial break.
We created 90s-inspired Foot Locker spots featuring modern talent to run on our network. To drive awareness and excitement, we sent a shoebox. No, sorry, a cable box to cultural tastemakers. The box included the latest Air Max product and a functioning remote. Plus, our network TV guide featuring vintage-style Nike ads that also lived across retail and out of home. In less than 2 weeks, people watched over 200,000 hours of our original programming. Overall, the campaign drove over 780 million impressions and 10 million engagements. And the Discover Your Air network made an impression on some of the biggest names in culture.
See you guys next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Discover Your Air network by Foot Locker and Nike.